Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome to the playtesters and my cats, as usual. Today we're going to be. She's too much. She wasn't here until we go live, and then she's got to get her face on camera. Let me work around her. Sorry about that. So, quick update on postcards from the front. I've been in communication with Dietz Foundation. I'm going to be pulling all the artwork down and compiling everything over the next week or so. If you've got changes, just reach out to me directly. That way I make sure I have everything. I'm going to start pulling stuff next week. And like I said, getting everything compiled so we can get these games published. And then I got Eric with me tonight. Hi, Eric. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Good. How are you?
Good. We heard some thunder in the background. Seems like you got quite a bit of rain right now.
Oh, it's thunderous here. All right. It's torrential at the moment, but I think we'll survive.
You just go under the water. We're playing a sub game tonight.
Here we go. You got it.
So this is Eric's game that one of his two games that he submitted to the postcards from the front game jam, and he's talked about it on one of the postcards from the front podcasts. But we thought let's go ahead and play it. And I still have there's so many games I haven't had a chance to play most of them, but he's going to walk me through this, and I'm going to see if I can become famous. So
let's make you an ace.
Let's do that. So let's dive into it. So what do I need to do, my friend?
All right. So the goal of the game here is to sink as many merchant ships as possible. So basically, if you look at the events table here, you're going to see a table that ranges from 2 to 12. So you have 10 different events that can happen.
Okay.
And one of them, a few of them on this table is a sighting right here. And when that happens, that means that you've spotted part of a convoy of ships, right?
Okay.
And so basically, for the setup here, I already have it set up, but just to show people what it entails, I have this spawn here on TTS just so we can keep track of the weather. Usually, you can play this game, with just the 3 counters that you see here. Oops, excuse me. Here, the U-boat counter, another U-boat counter, and the escort counter.
Okay.
It's just a one-pager, right? It's a front and back. Usually when I print games like this that, have the rules in one page, I just do exactly what I just did here on TTS. I have the game on one side, the rules on the other.
Nice. It totally works perfectly too.
Yeah. And also, if you don't feel like using counters, you could very well play this game as a roll and write as well, because all you need are the dice here, right? And then you could laminate this one page here, right? If you wanted, use dry erasers, pens, or you could just write on it and just, keep collecting them, because you can use this as for a campaign as well. You could keep track of your.
I like that idea, actually. You can,
right?
Like you say, keep a ship's log.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you could just save those if you want. So basically, for the setup here, so what we have, you have your crew, right here. Everything that belongs to your U-boat is below the crew, so on this section.
Okay.
And then what I'll do, Mike, I'll do a different kind of teach and play here. I'm not going to explain everything at once. I think this game is easy to just go get into it, and then you get the flow of it and see how it goes, right?
Okay.
So from the get-go, that's what I'll do here. You get a pencil, a
I didn't know
pen.
you could do that. That's cool.
Yeah. So, all right. So
Hey,
when you,
before we get into the gameplay,
mhm,
um, why don't you take 5 minutes and
mhm.
just kind of talk about the background for those who don't know,
Oh yes.
on the design, just a little bit
Hmm.
of what was your inspiration,
Yeah.
kind of how long it took you,
Hmm.
and anything that you might find of interest to share with other designers going through
Hmm.
this process. And then, if you don't mind, and then we can dive into the game, just in case
Yes,
somebody didn't
absolutely.
see the other podcast.
Hmm.
It'll take a few minutes, I think, to go through. And I always love
Yep.
designer notes, so it
Yep.
takes 7 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I don't mind.
No problem. So this game was my first submission to the Postcards from the Front Jam. I've always been fascinated with World War II, and especially the mechanical aspects of things during that era. And as such, submarines and U-boats, I was always very interested on it. And it's just such a great story in a way that these machines were fairly new. I mean, the first U-boat was really done in the 1850s, I believe. It traces back, you know, that long.
Yeah, I
But
think there was some in the Civil War.
yep, yep, pre-Civil War, absolutely. They were much smaller, right, than the ones that we've come to know much later,
Uh-huh.
100 years later, right? Um, and these were just great machines, but very deadly, for crew and for others as well. Um, I always enjoyed playing submarine from Battle Lines and the old submarine game, right?
Uh-huh.
And Wolfpack from SPI, which the one I have is a magazine game.
I need to get a
And
copy of that. How is that game?
it's very good. I mean, for being one of the first solo games done out there, war games,
Yeah.
it's a great game. And to tell you the truth, I played 3 months ago. I mean, this game is from, I believe, 1973, if I'm not mistaken. I
Yeah.
gotta fact check myself on that one, but yeah, it's a very good game. I highly recommend it. I think you'll enjoy it if you like submarines.
I do.
Um, I that one is it's nice. It's nice, and it plays fast too, especially if you think how long ago it was made.
Right?
So it's a great little game. Also, movies too. I mean, I've always loved movies.
Well, Das
Das
Boot
Boot for sure.
is one of my top
Um,
5 movies.
yeah, the
Top
Matthew
10. Top 10.
McConaughey one as well. I forget you 874. I always get confused with the name.
I haven't seen that one in forever. I forgot about it. That's the one
Yeah,
with the
that's a
cipher,
good
right?
movie. Yes, yes.
That's
It's a
actually that's kind of a true story.
yeah, yeah. So those are always inspirations for me. And so for my first like my launch into designing a game and also a war game, I really enjoyed the operations part of the of
Mhm.
the U-boats, submarines, um, and it's they just went everywhere. I mean, it showed them in South America, it showed them in Europe, it showed them in Asia. These boats were just they were a menace from that time. They definitely were. They were,
Oh, I'm
and
sure a lot of seamen lost a lot of sleep thinking about
yeah,
Europe.
absolutely. And it's funny because when I was thinking about making this one particular game, I wanted something that was stealthy in the design or something that lurked in the dark and you were scared of it. And then the submarine just came into my head, and what would be scarier than a machine that it's underwater ready to shoot you.
Yeah.
What? And again, Hollywood has made these machines be very famous now, but back in the day when you got to think some of these people have never seen a U-boat or submarine before. Then all of a sudden you have this fish made out of iron coming
Yeah.
coming from the sea. You know, um,
Oh no,
yeah.
they're definitely scary. Definitely
So
scary.
yeah. So the reason for this particular design was because I started looking at games, U-boat games, submarine games, and I thought, I saw a lot of them, um, but I didn't see many that played quick or that didn't have a lot of complex rules, because I
Hmm.
still play games and I try to stay below. I wouldn't call myself an advanced player by any means, but
Right.
I always look for games between medium to low, complexity, and I play fast. And I really like games where I can play outside. Believe it or not, um, this jam was actually great because I got to design a game where I can take it anywhere.
No,
You
I love
know,
it. I love it.
highly portable. So, yep. So those are the reasons behind the design and the reason why I was always so interested.
Awesome.
And
Thanks for
who
sharing
isn't? Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Who isn't excited about submarines, right?
So there is a, I've got it on one of my hard drives. There's a print and play of a submarine game.
Mm-hmm.
It's free. I will find it. I'll put a link in the
Mm-hmm.
description of this video. Um, it's solo. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't fit on a postcard. It's a little big for that, but it's like 1 or 2 pages. It's a small scale sub game. I think you might enjoy playing it. I
Yeah,
crafted
I'll
one and
check it out.
played it. I was going to put it on my channel. I haven't done it yet.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I
Oh,
was thinking of
nice.
doing a whole
Yeah.
series of print and play games, and then again,
Mm-hmm.
shiny objects, and I was doing other things. But uh,
Yeah.
I'll share it with you because I
I
think,
understand.
yeah, I am so guilty of that. But yeah, I'll definitely share that with you. And this group I think did 2 games. I think they did a B-17 game and a
Mm-hmm.
submarine game.
Oh,
And I,
nice.
like I said, I've got them on my hard drive somewhere, the
Yeah.
the PDFs, and I'll share it with you. And maybe we can
Mm-hmm.
put it on here and give it a shot as well.
Yeah,
That would
absolutely.
actually be kind of cool. But let's go ahead and jump into this.
All right, cool. So yeah, so for the setup, let me just give a quick recap here.
Okay.
So basically, one of the U-boats, the backing needs to have the silent running right there.
Okay.
All right. So you want that one on the board here. So you can flip it if you need to. And it goes right at the start, right next to the approach box.
Okay.
All
I see
right.
the dot that says start.
Yep. And then the other U-boat marker goes on top of the U-boat depth box right here.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're going to have an escort token right on the escort box right there.
Okay.
All right. So this is the setup. All right. So next, what you do is you can pick your um, U-boat ID right here. All right.
Okay.
I'm not gonna write it here because writing with TTS is not something I'm used to. But usually you would want to put in, I don't know, U 102, U 130. That's up to
Right.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
So you
That's
can customize this a little bit. You can put
yeah,
your nickname for your boat, your commandant, your
absolutely.
captain's name. I like
Yep.
that. It's a bit of
Yep.
role playing light.
Exactly. And that's what I was going for.
Okay.
So players can create a little narrative of their own without
Okay.
me having to tell them, do this, do that. I like a little
So
flexibility
our
when I can.
commandant will be not Jay.
There you go. Yep.
We'll see
And
if he
then
survives.
on this section here, the most important one to pick is actually the type of the boat. Right under the U-boat ID, you have type right here.
Okay.
All right. because then this will give you different abilities down there, where the torpedoes, the deck
Oh,
gun,
I
the
like that.
ships. Okay,
So even in a
so
small package like this,
mhm,
going through this setup, you've given the player, we were talking about this last night, player agency,
mhm,
right? And as
yep,
trivial as it may sound,
mhm,
um, a U-boat name, the captain's name, and then picking the
mhm,
type,
yep,
that really helps you start with the narrative. So, okay, so the first
yeah,
real tactical choice will be the
mhm,
type.
yep.
Let's just go with the 7C.
7C. Okay, you're taking a classic here.
I'm just going to take the
There you
first
go.
one.
I like that. Yep. So as you can see below the crew there,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna have some stats, right? So for the torpedoes, you have four
Now I've got
squares.
torpedoes that hit, right? I don't have the ones that miss.
I hope so. I hope so. So right next to the torpedoes there, you see four boxes where it says launched right
Okay.
under it. That's when you need to mark them down as you launch the torpedoes, because it takes one turn for them to reload. So
Okay.
we'll keep track
So
of
that's
the
just
launch torpedoes
torpedoes that
here.
are in my tube that I've
Yep,
launched. And then is that
exactly.
down below those
So
marks
yep. So
for how
down
many
below,
torpedoes that I have loaded?
exactly. These are how
Perfect.
many torpedoes you actually carry,
Okay.
okay, inside of your U-boat, and then we'll do the same. We'll mark these boxes as we use them, okay. So for the Type 7, you start with 14 torpedoes, right? Um, I don't have facing on the game, okay, so we don't have to worry about bow, aft torpedoes. You just launch. Both boats actually can launch up to 4 torpedoes at the same time.
Okay,
Okay.
so you can do a spread of 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yes, you can. Yep. So for boat 7C, we have 14. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes for the deck gun. Okay,
Okay.
and you can shoot up to 2 boxes at a time when you decide to shoot them.
Okay.
All right. Um, and then next to the deck gun, you have the sunk ships, and that's what will keep track of the ship, how many ships you've sunk. All
Okay.
right. And next to that, we have U-boat damage, and below that,
We're not going to need that tonight, but okay, go ahead.
I know, I know, I hope so. So below that, we have how many boxes of, let's say, health your U-boat has, right?
Got it.
So as if you see, as you go to the right of that track, you have little blue marks. That
Yeah, I like
means
that.
flooding, right? And we
Uh-huh.
don't want to have flooding, because boat will sink 30 meters at a time if we have flooding.
Oh,
Um,
that's not good.
so so I'm sorry, it'll sink 30 meters per turn. So
Yeah,
until
I
it's
do.
fixed. So yeah, we have that going. So below all that, we have evade right here,
Okay.
right? And that's for Type 7. You have a 4 plus. That means if you attacked with depth charges, you have an evade roll that you can do.
Okay.
And if you get 4 or above, that means that you can reduce the damage of all depth charges in half.
Okay. And do I get to play with a 20-sided dice since I'm new to this game?
We'll
No.
think about that. Hey, they didn't have it easy. You're not going to have it easy.
Oh, fair enough.
All right. And then, Mike, that's for the setup. Just explain a little bit of all this is down here. For
Okay.
the rest up there, and we can just start, and then I
Well,
can
before
explain
you
as
go
we
on, I
go.
see there's an implosion check.
Yep, you know what that means.
So if I'm going down to the Titanic, is that pretty much a
Hmm.
guaranteed? Two,
Yeah, that's you have to roll a 13 on 2d6s to get a success on that one.
so Mad Nerd says German U-boat protocol was always one target per torpedo.
Mm-hmm. That is
Okay,
correct.
so let's see if I can. I'm going to try that strategy and see if because Nerd would not steer me wrong. He's a good
He
guy.
wouldn't. I
No,
know.
never. I trust him completely.
All right, Mike. How about you play the game now,
Okay.
and I'll walk you through.
So, where's the turn sequence?
So the turn sequence. So right next to
Oh,
invisible Unsichtbar on top of the page there, that's for when you engage with the convoy ships. So first, what we're gonna do,
okay.
you're gonna take 2 dice and you're gonna start rolling at the events table right in the middle there.
So how do I now? How do I shift to grab 2 dice?
So you drag and pull.
Well, that I can do, but how do I?
Mhm. Yep,
Oh,
you
okay.
can do that and press R if you want, or you can roll them. That's
Okay. Let's
all
just
right.
do that.
So
So
on this
roll the
result
5.
here, yeah, you roll the 5. So look on the events table, a 5. What do you have on
Hold
5?
on. So where am I looking?
Mm-hmm. So you look at the events
Oh, right
table
in the
right
middle.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. So
5
total, the 2 dice you just
fighting.
rolled, you have a sighting. Perfect. So now pick up one more dice and put it right next to the 2 you already have, please. And now you're gonna look and you're gonna roll the 3 dice again, one more time. Oops.
Apparently, I picked up the counter.
All good. All right. So you
9.
can total those. So you have 9, right? You
Mm-hmm.
see where the sea is divided into zones. You have a close range, you have a medium range, and you have a long range, right?
Okay, so I made a sighting that is at medium
Mm-hmm.
range.
Exactly. So now you're gonna pick up those 3 dice, and those 3 dice actually represents the ships that you see. You only see 3 ships at a time.
Okay.
So you can put those 3 dice on the
Oh, I
medium range.
see. Okay.
Yep. On the first dot. Yep. There you go.
The number doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Nope.
Okay.
So basically, you've spotted a section of a convoy, right?
Okay.
Because no convoy was fully sunk ever in any war. What was sunk was parts of a convoy entirely, right? But never the full convoy. Um, so you've spotted 3 merchant ships
That's a
here, right?
good point because if you're looking through a periscope, you're not going to see
Mm-hmm.
everything. I like
Exactly.
that you kind of factored that in, right? Because a lot of games
Yeah.
you go, "Oh, it's a convoy of 12 or whatever the case may be." But in
Mm-hmm.
this game, it's you don't know how big that convoy is, but I have
Exactly.
spotted 3 ships. I see their silhouettes as I'm peering through my periscope.
Right. Right. Um, so now, Mike, you're gonna take 1 die now and roll for the weather. I should have done that before because you
Okay.
roll if you when you do a sighting, when you have spotted them, you do the weather first and then you roll to see where they were. So, but that's okay. So let's do Mike. Let's
It's
yeah. So
night.
you have night good.
Yep. Night good.
All right. Well, the problem with night good is that you need to be at the same range as them to even be able to shoot,
When you say
right?
same range, you mean close range?
So you need to be on the same. Let me. Oh, sorry. Still learning TTS. You need to be at the same spot as they are,
Oh, okay.
right?
So point blank.
Point blank. That's and even so, even if you
I
are
mean,
here.
so why don't we do this since we just started?
Mhm.
Let's
Yep.
just get rid of that I spotted 3. So first
Mhm.
roll, I get nighttime good. Okay.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
now I
So
would
let's
roll for
say
my
for the sake.
events, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
As opposed to trying to make it work, we just started the game. So let's just grab those and roll.
Yep. There you
5. Still got a sighting.
Ah, that's very funny. That's very funny. There you go. See,
Now, because I have a sighting, do I assume that they're basically right here?
no.
Ah,
So you always roll to see first the weather because I skipped that.
okay.
I did the convoy first placement. You always
Yeah,
roll
we
for the
got that.
weather first. All right. So let's say, Mike, just for the sake of the teaching here, it's day good, right? And then do you want to roll for the?
Well, let's just play this night good. I'm okay with that.
You okay with that? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So which one was
I'm
it?
okay.
Night good. Yeah, right there. Gotcha. Yep. So you had want to roll for the convoy?
Yeah. So, and where is that again?
So you just roll and total the dice first.
I need 2 though, right?
3,
Okay,
because
so I
it's
do
3
3.
ships. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, hi.
15.
15. All right. Let's say 16, Mike. Go right.
Oh,
down
because
there.
15. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah, because then it's a little easier for you to get to them. Because otherwise,
No,
you
no, no.
see.
Let's just play it as it's done. So, because I'd
Alright.
like to know how it works. So, because
Yeah.
if I'm playing this on my
So
own,
let's place it there. So it's on what we got? Yep,
medium
right
range.
there. Mm-hmm. All right. So now you need to decide what you're gonna do, right? If you look at the sequence of play up there, you'll see that the first step is U-boat movement. Okay.
Okay.
So if you are on the surface, which you are right here, on the U-boat depth, right?
Yeah. And it's
You
nighttime, so that's cool.
yeah, you can move up to 2 dots if you
Okay.
stay on the surface. Okay. If you
Okay.
want to submerge, you can, but then
Well, I don't see any escorts, so I'm going to move
yep, there you go.
there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And now you're done.
I
for
play
step
aggressive
1.
in games, boss. So,
It's all good. So step
hey,
2 is
if I get
anti.
sunk, you know what?
Uh-huh.
I don't even get wet. I just roll up a new boat and try again.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. And this game is supposed to be fast too, you know.
Cool.
Yep. All right. So now for step 2, it says anti submarine warfare. So you
Okay.
have the ASW now happening. Nothing happens because they haven't spotted you. Okay.
Okay.
So you can just
And how do
skip
they
that.
spot me?
So if you are at the same location as the convoy ships, they
Yeah.
do a visual check on you,
Okay.
and then they can spot you. Or anytime you attack them, the escort will come out of its box during this phase.
Yeah,
And
we
then
don't want that.
He'll
Okay.
keep moving down up until he gets to the search area here, where he can look for you.
Okay.
So
Oh, so those 2 dots are
yeah,
actually movements for him
exactly.
or for her.
Yep.
It's a
And
ship.
we'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, I've spotted them. I've
Yep.
moving closer.
Yep.
Am I close enough to attack with my deck gun? Or no?
The problem is, right? And this is why this game can be something that you need to make decisions, right? Before you act.
Yeah.
So on this game, whenever it's night or bad weather, you can only shoot them if you are in the same zone as them.
Okay, so no matter what, at night,
no matter
whether
what,
it's the deck gun or the torps,
yep,
I have to be in the same box. Okay.
you do on the same, yep, same zone. So now is the number 3 is convoy movement. So they're gonna move, Mike. You take the 3 dice and move them 1 dot.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, which direction do I move them? Away from me?
So yep, you move them away from you because what this is, they're going into the distance and you might lose them. When they make it to the last, well, the topmost dot over there on the long range, the next time they move, you've lost them. They've gone
Okay.
away or
So
something
let me
happened.
let me throw out an idea.
Hmm.
Um, the idea of them moving towards me,
Hmm.
I think would be a nice option for this game. And maybe it's a either a
Hmm.
50-50 roll or a 5+, they move towards me. I'm lucky because I happen to be right in their path and they're moving towards me, so I'm not always
Hmm.
having to chase them.
Right, right. Well, yeah,
Just the thought.
the thought process here was, yeah, they could be coming towards you, you know, they could be. Yeah, yep, it's true. Okay,
Okay.
so number four here, you have U-boat attack, but you cannot make any attacks right now,
Okay.
right? You're not at the right spot. Last one is damage control. So for damage control, you look all the way down in the bottom of the page. You will see on the evade line right here,
Yeah.
you see repair and medic 4
Okay.
plus. That
Okay.
means that during the damage control phase, you will roll two dice, right? And anything over 4, you get to repair either U-boat damage, one box,
Okay.
or one of the crew. Not or. If you roll two fives,
Okay. So one or the other.
repair. You could repair and do the medic as well.
Okay.
So you can do both. So you could for the medic you could heal up one slash of your crew if they're hurt.
Okay.
Any crew member, because on this game when a crew member gets one slash they're hurt. If they get two slash they're out of the game.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
They're
enough.
dead. Yeah, something happened and
Yeah.
killed
They're
them.
incapacitated.
Exactly.
Okay.
So okay, so damage control, nothing happens because you are at full health right now. Your crews are fine. All right, next step, you will do U-boat movement again. You back to the sequence of play, the top.
So I only have to move one to be able to attack.
There's a caveat on this scenario, and you will see soon
Okay. So I'm going to
because
go
this
ahead and
is. Mhm.
move the one.
Yep. All right. So for the ASW, now you have to do a visual check, Mike, to see whether they spotted you. So you take one die, and since it's nighttime, right? Nighttime, there's a +1 DRM, right? So
Okay.
it, they can only find you if you roll a 6. Because as you can see, your visual is 5 to
Oh, I
6.
rolled a 6.
Oh my gosh! So they find you. All right. So now, that's very funny. So the escort doesn't come out yet because the ASW phase already passed, right?
Okay.
Actually, did it pass? No, it didn't because you're still on U-boat movement, weren't you?
Yeah, I did
So
movement, and
he,
now they
that's
they
very
just
funny.
spotted me.
All right, so he comes down that box and goes to the first dot right under it. Yep. All right.
I like the
Nice.
timing of that.
Now we've been found. All right. So now it's the convoy movement again. So see what happens now. So the three dice move up, Mike, to the last dot on the long range,
Yeah,
and they won't be able to chase after them after the next turn.
yeah, they're gonna get away. So had I moved two,
Yeah.
then they would have moved one. I still would have had to have gone after them.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some
Mm-hmm.
critique.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, this is my full exposure to the game,
Yeah.
and I don't know historically what encounters were like. This might be very accurate.
Mhm.
But if they're in long range, I'm never going to catch them. If
Mhm.
they're in medium range, I'm going to be very lucky to catch them. Right? I'm going to have to
The
be on the
the
surface. I'm going to
prob
have to move
yeah.
because I'm just
The
thinking of the math.
mhm.
They're going to move.
Yeah.
I'm going to move, and there's only one box here, and then they're gone.
Right.
So next turn, I'm going to move in there,
Mhm.
and I'm not even going to get to attack. So at this point, I
Nope.
can't catch them.
Nope. You can't.
Okay.
And this is part of the decisions you have to make as soon as you have a sighting, that you roll the weather and the night, the weather and the range, because then you can choose whether you want to pursue them. Because if it's night and or bad weather or both,
So
you
here's
wouldn't engage
okay.
because they'd be
Here's
out
a
of your way.
suggestion.
You wouldn't be able to see them that well to get a good shot, you know.
So here's a suggestion, and this is just gameplay wise.
Mm-hmm.
If they're ever at long range, that means on a 3 or 6 on the
Mm-hmm.
dice.
Yep.
I'm just not going to be able to catch them.
You wouldn't be able to. The only
Okay.
benefit really would be because when you do engage with them, you get to go down the list of the sequence of play, and one of them is the damage control. So if you had some damage or injuries on your crew,
Yeah, that
it
could
would
be
be
handled.
beneficial
Yeah, but
that
that
way,
that I
you
got
know.
thoughts on that. I'm going to end up redesigning your game,
Mhm.
dude.
It's all good.
And you could just poo-poo it all. So just keep that in mind. Just so
Yep.
you understand, when I'm designing, whether it's
Mhm.
software or whatever, I
Yep.
have a no ego approach, and I
Hmm.
expect the same, which means I'm going to give you my unfiltered opinion. And if
Yeah.
you just say "go pound sand," as Chris would say, I'm not going to be offended. But I feel that it's important that I share honest thoughts.
Yeah.
So just by this alone, I would
Hmm.
not even have long range in the game. There's no point. If you want to say um, when you're not, you can just choose not to try to search
Hmm.
and repair, right?
Hmm.
You can just make that as just a simple bookkeeping. Or you just get one roll and then you have to search or something like that, as opposed to,
Hmm.
hey, it's long range. Yeah, I still get to do my damage control. So maybe
Hmm.
tweak the way damage control works slightly, but
Hmm.
and even medium range, I moved 2.
Hmm.
Had I moved 2 again,
Hmm.
they still get away.
Right.
And it's nighttime. At nighttime, I should be able to approach them closer,
Hmm.
okay, before they get away.
Hmm.
Also, maybe make this 3 squares as opposed to 2. And if you had the movement where they might come back to me, then it's at long range. I might track them, and all of a sudden, hey, they're coming in my direction.
Hmm.
Because if I roll, this is what on 3 dice, 15 at medium range,
Hmm.
which is what percentage? 15 out of 18, which means I have 3 out of, I'm just doing this in my head. Is it like 12% or something?
Yeah.
Anything. So let's just call it 20%.
Hmm.
That means 80% of the time when I go through this process, I'm not even going to get even if I get an encounter, they're going to go away.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's a bit much.
yeah.
If I get an encounter, I'd like to have about an 80% chance that I get shots off, not the opposite, where I've got a 15% chance that I get shots off.
It depends on a combination of factors because let's say, and I know I kind of screw with that one, but
No, no,
like
no, dude. It's just like you said, it's your first game. We're working on numbers. You
yeah,
play test it. I'm just giving you my feedback, and like I said,
absolutely,
you can
yeah.
you can poo poo it or whatever. I'm just going to be honest, and because I wanted to get shots off, and now I'm like, oh great, I'm spotted, so I've got to evade, which is cool. That's game. I'm still playing, but I'm not going to get my shots off. Which again, I'm not concerned about one off. It's just they were at medium range.
Yeah.
Which again, I've only got 3 dice. That means I have to roll. Even if I rolled 3, I have to roll 4s and 5s. I don't know what the odds of rolling 50% plus 50% plus 50%, right? 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus on all 3 dice.
Right.
Because 6, 6,
18.
4 works, but that's still a 4 plus. Well, 6, 6, 4 is 16. And 12, so yeah, 16.
Yeah.
5, 5, 5. Oh, no, dude. This is like real. This is probably like a 10% chance. Did you? Let me ask you.
That was done on purpose.
No,
because the medium range, that's the one that I thought was the more balanced. Especially with the movement of the U-boat itself and the ships, which I didn't put like, oh, is the convoy fast or slow? I just, they move one. Just for easy
that's
play,
cool.
Yeah. And but the thing here, is the weather, because night and bad, and can make things really difficult. So that's why as soon as you do a sighting, you need to decide like, oh, is this worth me going chasing after, or should I keep rolling under the events? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they good here, as you can see, you have, a 35% chance of rolling, right? And then with these here, with the ranges, depending how close they are or far, that's why I made long range almost impossible to hit, because you wouldn't.
Long range is impossible. I would argue medium range is impossible. Well, I would also say that medium range would be impossible to hit.
No, you wouldn't, because if it's day good, you can shoot from anywhere.
Okay.
You don't have to be on the
what
same.
What happens on day bad?
So day bad, anytime that's bad or night, you have to be at the same range. That's the only times where you need to be at the same range.
Basically, 66% of the time, medium and long range, I'm not going to even get shots off.
Not the way the movement works. Correct.
Okay, so right off the bat, only 30% of the time do I have a chance, and then, well, how does medium? So if it's day good,
right?
Do I shoot one square or one?
So yeah. So let's do. So okay, let's just finish this one here, Mike.
Sure.
And then I'll do a couple of scenarios just so we can kind of have a few more things happening. Let me move this one here. So I believe what happened here now was the convoy movement, right? So let me just move them so they would move up here. U-boat attack, you could not attack, as we've already noted, right?
Yeah.
So the thing here is you already know that they're going to be gone, right? You're not going to be able to make it to get a shot off. And
here's my thought. Let me share this real quick. If I can spot them, would they not? Well, maybe not. I was going to say, would they not be in range of my gun? So,
right.
Okay, no, I'm going to hold my thoughts because I don't know whether being submerged on the surface, what kind of disadvantage you have on the surface. But I think the deck gun has more range than the torpedoes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you could shoot them.
What I'm getting at is maybe in this scenario, they're too far for torpedo range, being one off even at night. But to balance that out, I could use my deck gun.
Yeah, if it was day good, you could have used it.
Yeah, but you see what I'm doing. I'm trying to, again, redesign your game.
That's all right.
Because I'm looking at this and going, 60% of the time I don't get to play.
Depends on the range, too. Yeah.
but this is, you got to roll. If I roll 3 5s, which is really difficult, I still am medium. What did I roll? 6 5 4. Boom.
Mhm.
I have to roll at least 2 6s
Yeah.
and a 4 5 or 6. So what is
Mhm.
that? 1 and 6, 1 and 6, which is a 12%, and then another 12%. So that's less than
Mhm.
10%, and then a
Mhm.
50% on top of that. This is probably,
Mhm.
I'm going to ballpark, this is a 7% chance I'm going to hit these numbers.
Yeah. Because I didn't want the U-boat to start that close. I want them to work.
But okay, so here's my argument. At nighttime, well, no, hear me out.
Yep.
I might do 2 different results for daytime and nighttime.
Mhm.
Because at nighttime, if I spot them and they don't spot me, for example, let's go back to here. I go 1 2,
Mhm.
they move here.
Yep.
I go 1 2, they go
Mhm.
here. I go 1 2, now I'm ahead of them and I get a shot
Mhm.
on them. So I've chased them down
Mhm.
and I got a shot on them.
Mhm.
At nighttime, because I'm going to be able to be on the surface, I'm going to be able to maneuver and get a shot.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing we haven't looked at
Mhm.
statistically is this events table. What are the chances I
Mhm.
even get a sighting to begin with before I even get my 7% chance?
30%.
Okay. So I have a 30% chance to get a,
So let me just make sure my 1.
I have a 30% chance to get a 30% chance to get a 12%, 12%, 50% to get within close range
Actually,
so they don't jab
40%.
away
Yeah.
from me.
4 results. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was only 1.
I think that's a little
Only 3.
harsh, to be nice.
I know. I know. Well.
But here's the thing. I think that
Mhm.
from what I've seen so far, I was getting into this. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. It's
Mhm.
nighttime. I'm on the surface. I spotted some. I love the idea of I only see 3 of the convoy, but I would add the movement either 4, and I would do it once. They're either moving towards me or away from me.
Mhm.
And then they're going to continue because these things can't turn on a dime, right?
Right. Right. No, they don't.
Um, maybe
They
make
don't.
it 3 within the range as opposed to 2.
Mhm.
And then I would change these numbers here so that at least at nighttime, I, if I'm at long range, I could try to close, and but maybe each time trying to close, there's a search
Mhm.
option, right? They might spot me somehow, some way,
Mhm.
trying to close the distance. So there's, hey, I'm at long range. Well, instead of I can't catch them, okay, I'm going to move. They're not going to go any further, but there's a search. Okay, so
Mhm.
let me just, let's say we're in this situation, and I'm just going to roll this. Oh, I got a 6. Oh, I got spotted. Oh, I'm going to bug out. Okay, so that one didn't go so well. I spotted them, but the escort picked me up through. Well, okay, even with the 5 or 6, they picked me up with their sonar, right? 6, even at nighttime. Okay, so
Mhm.
let's do this again. Come on, I rolled 6 3 times. Oh my God, what are the odds?
Wow. You're rolling high today.
Jeez
Holy smokes.
Louise.
Yeah.
There we
There you
go.
go.
So they don't see me. Here, so here's my point. So as
Yeah.
opposed to me moving, boom,
Mhm.
they move forward too.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, if they're moving away from me, it's all relative. At least at this point, I've closed the distance. Right
Mhm.
now, I'm at medium range, and can I shoot? Can I not shoot? Maybe my guns are not. That's fine. Okay. And then they're going to move their 1, right? Let's say they're moving away from me. So then next turn, We do this again, and now maybe I've closed the distance and they're here. All right, and then they're going to move, and then next, and again, you have to work this out. But at some point, I'm going to be close enough where maybe I'm here, and now they're moving towards me, and I'm going to get shots until they see me. Those are again just thoughts.
Yeah.
Sorry to rip it up, but
that's okay. Maybe I should play.
Man.
Maybe I should play a turn so you can see easy how it works.
Yep. Go ahead and
I hear all your
I'll
points.
be quiet. And you can run me through one. Go ahead.
Stop. I want you to.
No. Seriously,
that's the whole point of what we're doing. You know.
I know, boss, but
yeah.
Go ahead and show it off.
But you got to play the game first, and then, we can discuss how it works. As well. So give it a chance.
Yep.
All right. So let's roll here. So we got a 7. Oh, great.
Oh, Mike
one
told
of the
us
worst ones
it's
possible.
1 in 216.
All right. So we got escort, roll for weather. So on this event here, number 7, the escort goes straight to search. He's found us on the surface there. We are at a bad position right now because we are on the surface. So if the weather is good, he finds us automatically. If it's day good, he finds us. So
okay,
roll. Of course, it's day good. Look at that. That's unbelievable. It's day good. So now, whenever the escort finds you, Mike, you move all the way down to the attack portion of the escort track.
Okay.
All right. So now, this is how attack works for the escort. We're going to look at the U-boat depth now and where the U-boat is, right?
Okay.
So you can see that the U-boat, we denoted it's on the surface, right?
Yeah.
So we got to look
+3
and see
damage.
what kind of attacks he can do on us. So what he can do when we are on the surface, he can attack you with guns, all right? And he can ram at you +3 damage automatically.
Yeah, we don't need that.
The ramming, I put it on the rules that it's up to the player how he wants to play this game, because not all captains would ram their boats into a U-boat. Not all of them. Some would. Okay. Because what happens is if you decide to go with this option, Mike, after he's done with all his attacks, he retires because he's done too much damage to his own ship. He might sink you. But he's also not sunk himself, but he needs to go home right now.
Yeah. Well, no,
so
obviously there's going to be damage.
What would you like to do? You pick. Does he ram?
No, I'm going to say they don't ram. I'm going to do surface damage.
Okay.
Or surface guns.
So now, Mike, forget about the ramming +3. That doesn't happen. So he's just going to shoot guns at us, right?
Okay.
So now you're going to look at the guns right here. Okay. So you roll 4 d6s. So that's how many you're going to roll. And on this case, 4 and above, it's hits. And you cannot evade that.
There was one 6.
Unfortunately, so now, here's how that works, right? You're going to mark 1 damage on your U-boat right here. I can do it for you. Let's mark 1 damage.
Okay.
And a 6, it's also a damage to the crew. So you can pick up a die and roll again. And we're going to see by the numbers on the boxes. So that's okay. That's okay.
Chris.
So he gets 1 damage. Chris gets hurt a little bit.
Oh, my goodness.
Just smack him out a little bit. He'll be okay. We still got him.
I don't know. The way I've been rolling, man.
So that's not awful. Now you can dive.
I can die.
So you can dive up to 30 meters.
Okay,
So
go
let's
ahead
do
and let's
that.
dive to 30 meters.
Let's
Dive,
dive to
dive.
30. All right.
Wah, wah. Whatever my dives allow alarm sounds like.
All right. So now we're gonna roll to see if he finds you with sonar, because that's the only way he can search for you now, because you're underwater, right?
Okay.
So we're gonna roll, and he finds you on 5s and 6s.
No,
I should have let you roll, Mike. Sorry.
that's fine. I rolled a
You,
2.
you got a 2. Okay, great. He did not find us. So I should have moved him back to the search because, of course, he couldn't attack. He needs to locate us first. So he
Okay.
got. So you can roll again. After 2 turns of not finding us, he goes away. So
Okay, that's
hopefully,
nice and easy.
not a 5 and not a 6. Here we go. So he
Okay.
goes back to the square box and he's gone. He can't find you anymore. And now you can stay at periscope depth if you want, or you can go to the surface.
Now, can I shoot at him?
You cannot. There's no engagements to the escort ships on this game.
Okay.
Because part of the historically, a U-boat usually would not engage with an escort ship because the main goal was to sink merchant ships. And that's what I try to keep on this game. That's why I removed that, because again, Mike, this game is supposed to be just quick, game.
Yep.
And I just didn't want to add a lot of rules to such a small package.
No, it makes
So
sense.
I just kept that out. All right.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
So now, Mike, we've resolved this event, and we keep rolling on the events table to see. Let's see what else we got.
Okay.
Let's roll. So we got a 5, and it's a sighting. So let me roll for the weather first. Let's see what we got. What is happening to my dice?
Well, half the time it's going to be nighttime, and
Mhm.
2/3 of the time
let's
it's going to
say-
be bad.
Let's say it's day good, just so I can show you.
No. Let's not say it's day good. That's the play testing.
All right.
Because
One
you
more
got to
time,
see
then.
how often the bad and the night come
That's
up.
true.
Because it's
I got like
60%
3
of the
6
time.
in a row. Did you notice that?
I know.
All right. So it's night bad. Let's roll for where the convoy ships are.
Night bad is not good at all.
Oh, it's awful. So I got a 7. So 7's medium range. Put it there. Boom. All right.
Well, yeah. Again, we already know we can't catch them. So for me, once I already know the math, I'm
Right.
unless I have that 1 in 200% or 1 in 200 or whatever
Right.
it is. That's
So on this
5%
one,
chance,
I
I'm not
wouldn't.
even going to try.
Yep. So usually what I would do here, Mike, if after I roll the weather, and if I saw it was 1, and then I rolled for the range, like this here, I wouldn't even engage. That's what I do on my games usually. I would just go back to the events table and see if I got.
Well, now
a
I
better
can
roll.
I can heal, right? To your point.
Yeah. So you could roll
I can
dice
repair.
to heal. Yep. So let's see if I can roll high again. When I need to roll high, I don't. Incredible. Look at that. Nothing. I needed 4 above. So I'm still hurt on both ends here. So back to the events. Roll for events. Let's see. What do I got? 5. All right. So weather.
Okay.
So we know what the 5 is. Oh, rolled all of them, but that's okay. Got a 2
That's the
here.
weather.
So that's day good. And I should have got that 1 as well. So I'm gonna put that here.
Yeah, see 15.
So 15.
Yeah, that 16, 18 is just, I think, we were talking about this last night. It's just, in my opinion, it's too much luck. If I'm going to get close range at nighttime to do a shot, because nighttime is the best, it's a good hunting time for these convoys. because daytime they'd be on the surface, right, recharging batteries and doing whatever, and at nighttime is where they would try to do, because that's where you got the most cover.
Stealthy.
And I think you need to put some sort of advantage for the player at nighttime. And I think so when I make changes to my games, unless things are very obvious, I only like to move one lever at a time. So what my suggestion would be, and I'm going to give you two. You've already heard them. One would be to set the movement either towards me or away from me. But if you want to keep it just away, I'm okay with. I'm like you need me to say this. I'm okay with that.
Thanks, Dad. All right, so let me just keep going here because now we have
hold on. I would rework this table. Either have it for a day and a night, because I think you have room to put the two values. Huh?
Go pound sand. Hey, you opened that door.
Fair enough, my friend. Okay, go ahead.
So day good. So back to the sequence of play. U-boat movement. I'm gonna stay on the surface. I'll go 2.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Right. I'm chasing you down.
Chasing down. ASW phase, nothing happens. They haven't spotted us yet. All right. Convoy movement. They move 1. I never grab 3 dice. I always grab the 2.
I know.
There you go.
In a year, we'll be masters at this.
Yep, I know. All right, 4 U-boat attack. So now we can shoot them with a -1 VRM for our attack.
Okay.
So we can shoot them with torpedoes.
Okay. Because this is daytime, right?
This is daytime. Yep, day good. Okay. So we can shoot them from a different range during day good. Maybe let's shoot them with torpedoes because we can shoot 4 torpedoes.
Okay, so now that we're shooting, do I target one of the convoy?
So what you can do, usually I take 2 dice for 1 ship and roll, right?
And so each dice represents a torpedo?
It does, yep. Okay. So each dice represent 1 torpedo. You hit on 4 and above, but since you have a 1 range distance, you hit on 5 and above. So that's just 1. Okay. So you want to roll torpedoes and assign to certain ships.
Okay.
Okay. Because unfortunately, if you roll 2 dice and they're both hits, but on the same ship, sorry.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah. So you can roll them, okay, and assign them however you please.
Or I could do kind of what Nerd said, and I can assign 1 to 1, 1 to 1, and say 2 to. So 1 here, 1 here, and 2 here.
Yeah. That's what I like doing usually.
So let's do this.
That way, So 5 and 6s.
Hit.
There you go.
Oh,
you almost got it. Well, both of them together equals 5.
Right. That didn't count. Okay, so I got 1 hit.
1 hit. Yep. So you can remove one of the dice, one of the die. And now
so I got 1 kill. Yay.
Yep. You can put it there. If you want to, you can. Let me mark it for you, just to make it easier. So let's mark it under the same ships here.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Okay. And now you can roll to see the tonnage of the ship you sunk. Roll right here, Mike, under the sunk ships. You have a tonnage table. So you can roll that dice there, that die, and see what you got for tonnage. So you roll a 5, and a 5 is 8 tons. So usually what I do, I just put a little mark right there. So there you go. Not too bad. And you'll be able still to take at least one more shot at them before they run away from you.
I fired
So
all
what?
4 torpedoes, though.
Yep. So now you have to mark those 4.
Yeah, so I fired all 4, so why would I get to shoot again?
You can shoot your deck guns. Not right now. Next turn. So let me mark that off here. All right. So what happens now is, so you did your U-boat attack on number 4. Next is damage control. Do you want to roll for the damage control? Because I'm rolling crap.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Hexy. Thanks for stopping in and watching us, boss. Hey, Diego. I saw you earlier say you were having a drink and listening to us, so that's very cool, my friend. Okay, so what am I doing now?
So if you want to roll for the repair medic down there, Mike, we are under the damage control part.
Okay.
Yep. So you roll
Now, what
2.
do I need? A 5 or a 6? Or 4, 5, or
and
6?
above. Yep.
Oh, my God. Come on.
One more dice. One more. Let's see.
Oh.
Get something.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So
you rolled
1
2.
is going to give me a 4, so 6. Okay, so we just erase that.
Yep. Let me get
We'll let Chris deal with his wound.
Mm-hmm. He'll survive.
The ship's more important.
Right, we got it.
There we go.
All right. So now let me just clean this up a little. Put in here. All right. U-boat movement again. Okay, so we attacked last turn, right? So we know that number 2 right here, ASW, he's gonna come out of his box for sure. But he won't activate till next turn, right? So what I think I would close in here and get ahead of them, because they will find us anyways, right? Because we know he's gonna come out of his box, so it doesn't matter if they find us right now or not. So I'll just go right next to them. No need to roll for the visual. We just assume you've been found in the vicinity, right? So ASW, he comes out. So let's put him right here. So convoy movement, they move up 1. Yep. And now we can roll for the damage control. Did I skip a phase? Oh, I skipped the U-boat attack phase, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. So we can attack Mike now with the deck guns because we don't have the tubes yet. They're still reloading.
Okay.
Next turn, we will have all of them back.
Our tubes are tied for this turn.
They really are my dad. All right.
Stupid jokes. Okay, so deck guns.
Deck guns. So
cool. We can see how those work.
Yep. So I'm gonna shoot 2 boxes worth of deck guns because you can shoot 2 boxes, right?
Okay.
They work the same way as the torpedoes.
Okay.
So on 5 and 6s, we get a hit.
Okay, so I'm gonna go 1 and 1. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. You can go, Mike.
That's okay.
Go,
no, one of them got killed. The other one didn't. That's fine. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So this now.
Yep. So you roll. Now you can roll for the tonnage. Let's see what you got.
Good. 16 tons.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
That seems a bit light.
16 tons. Nice. You're actually hitting half of the quota for what I set up to be a single patrol on this game.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So you both attack. We can roll for damage control now, because I skipped that altogether. You can roll, Mike.
Is it 2 dice? Yeah, I just need a 4 plus.
2 dice. Yep, 4 plus.
Bingo. Okay. So now Chris is healed.
Yeah.
You got a Band-Aid.
Should we heal him?
Not Jay's healed.
All right, cool.
And then our torps are loaded again.
Now they are. Yes. Let me. Gotta get better at the shortcuts here, TTS. There you go. They
Yeah,
don't.
well, you're
Ah,
more
there you go.
advanced than I am currently.
There you
Okay.
go. All right. So we go back to top of the sequence of play, U-boat movement. So
But they're
now
going to move away.
we should submerge, Mike, because the escort is coming. We don't want to be caught on the surface again. So instead of moving forward, we're gonna submerge to 30 meters.
So here's something I would do,
Mm-hmm.
because basically we're kind of in this situation. Okay, with the escort, because they're in close range. They haven't got the medium or long range yet. So even though they're here and I know the way you have the game designed, they're just going to move off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I'm right there.
Right.
And I and
Right.
I and if we keep it the way it is,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be gone and I'm not
Right.
going to get another shot at them, right?
You're not. Yeah. All that's gonna happen now, Mike, to tell you the truth, is the escort searching for you, right?
Yeah.
So he's just gonna do the search because you cannot disengage if the escort has come out of its box. You
So
have to
I think
resolve that.
Jeff would really like this game if the escorts are searching for him.
He would love it. Late Friday night.
just giving you a little grief, boss.
It's funny. All right, Mike. So now we can roll for the search and see if he can spot us on sonar. So 5 and 6s, he spots us. So you can roll that.
Hey, we get.
6.
Oh, and I got to do it twice, right?
Yep, you do it twice, 2 turns,
Bingo.
and then
We
he
get
goes
away.
away. Oh, perfect. All right. So now, and then we
So we've
reset.
used 8 torpedoes.
4 and
Well,
2
4
deck
and
guns. I
4.
forgot to
So
mark
we've
that.
used a total of 8.
Yep. And you are about, like I said, like halfway to the conditions of victory. And by the way, I forgot to mention this too. So whenever you have a sighting in the game, that denotes the end of the month that you're currently in case you keeping track, right? So basically what I did is the event is like days at sea.
Mm-hmm.
And when you finally spot a sighting, because on my assumptions here, they didn't spot that many, convoy ships all the time,
Right.
Yep. So they tried to just capitalize whatever they could find, so that's what I made be the turnover. Really, it's when the month ends after a sighting, so that way you can keep track. Oh, it's January, it's February, that's pretty much it, Mike. That's game. Aside from, the U-boat depth here, if you
Right.
if the escort finds you and he starts destroying you with depth charges, you can go deeper and deeper, right?
What I really like is you have so many different aspects of what you would expect a sub game might have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you.
I mean, you've got the searching, you've got the escorts, depth charges, surface guns, you got crew injuries, you can get crushed. I think you packed a lot into it.
Yeah, and I made it a little difficult myself too, because there are a lot of other aspects I would have wanted to made it different or added more stuff. But
you know what? To your point earlier,
the limitations,
you had the constraints of a postcard game.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the math on how frequently you get encounters and at what range, I think everything else is pretty well done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I from playing this, I didn't want the game to be easy, and I know I might have overdone in parts, as in, oh, this is,
Well, remember,
insane.
okay.
You know.
So my comment last night,
Hmm.
hard and easy should not be equated to lucky.
Oh, I know. No, I know. I know.
I think hard to me implies
Hmm.
skill or effort,
Hmm. Yep.
and luck implies dice roll. And I think this game,
Yeah.
for me, is a little too much on the luck side when it comes to getting into the encounters. Now that how the
Hmm.
combat works and all that, I think it's fine. Those numbers are great. Yeah,
Hmm.
you hit, you miss,
Okay.
you get duds. There's
Yeah.
no, I have no issues with that.
Yeah. But
So
again, this game is a work in progress too.
yeah,
It might even be like I've mentioned before, Mike, too. Could be a skeleton to something else in the future. I haven't
yeah.
thought
Well, a
about it
lot
yet,
of
to tell
times
you the
they
truth.
are, dude. That's so
Yeah,
true.
I haven't thought about it that far yet. But yeah, no, a lot of the points you brought up were good points, definitely, and stuff that I've thought about it before too.
Uh-huh.
And I'm more than willing to apply them, and we can see
But
how it works and not
again,
work. If I keep pursuing this one, of course,
yeah, and again,
if I
I
keep
I
pursuing.
share my thoughts. I try to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not always right, and it's from one person's point of view. So as a
Mhm.
designer, you just need to factor all that in and go,
Yeah.
okay, maybe, because then if somebody else plays it and you get a similar feedback, and then 10 people play it and you get similar feedback, then you kind of go,
Mhm.
huh, maybe I need to do that. When
Yeah.
I was doing Mythic, there are the Bigfoot cards in the deck. Well, initially I had a cube, a six-sided dice, and on one side was it was a blank dice that I had bought, and I put a sticker with the Bigfoot on it, and you'd roll it
Mhm.
every
Yep.
time to see if you got feared or not. So you always had a 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the deck, and we didn't have fear tokens. And I got a lot of pushback, like, "Oh, that's too much," and "Oh, why you got to roll the dice?" and blah blah blah. And through multiple iterations and a few different people giving me suggestions, we ended up with the fear tags and then the two um, total party kills in the evidence deck, and
Mhm.
completely removed the dice. But we probably had that dice in the game for 6 months, and play tested a lot with it. And then
Mhm.
after getting quite a bit of feedback of people didn't like that dice for that
Yeah.
purpose,
Yeah.
I took it out. And I then was
Mhm.
and the game is much better for it. It was one less component. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons, but
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, you got to be
For
careful
sure.
to take any one person's suggestions,
Hmm.
because then Chris plays the game and he gives you a different suggestion, and then you know
Yeah.
somebody else plays the game, and now you're chasing individual people. So
Hmm. Yeah.
I've given you my feedback. I'm going to go pound some sand.
No. No.
Dude, you can bust my balls. I'm not going to cry. Come on.
No.
I'm a
Stop.
grown ass
No.
man.
We're just play testing games, and
Yep,
that's what it is. It's
exactly.
yeah. No, I mean, it's again, it's a quick, simple game. Um,
No, I like
and
it. I
all
think
all
there's
the
a,
stuff you said, it can be easily adjustable too here. I mean, um, but yeah, that's game.
no,
You
I
know,
like it. Like again, I think that you've packed a lot
yeah.
into a small space with those
Hmm.
constraints, and
Hmm.
you've done that as one of your first designs. Dude, this is impressive just with all of those factors combined, that you've actually created this to this level. I think is amazing. Quite
Yeah.
honestly, not kissing your butt.
Thank you.
It's when somebody sits down to design a game and then has the nerve to share it for criticism like crap that I'm saying, takes a lot. And for your first one, this is really close to being right on the mark. This is really, really good
Yeah.
job, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're
Well,
welcome.
yeah. And again, Mike, it's you can play this in 15, 20 minutes. it's a quick little thing. You saw,
Yeah.
when we start rolling the dice and what happens. It's, and I get it, a lot of the numbers and stuff too. But again, you're going to be rolling fast and you can disengage. You can go back to the events. You can, try to approach things differently. And then, yeah, just, it's a game. It's, it's here. And
Yeah.
everything we talked about, we can apply and I can change, or this is the one and done and I move on to, I'm not married to it. So,
Well, here's the thing.
you know,
My first iteration of Richthofen was a full-on collectible card game with hundreds of cards. And when I pitched it to AEG, they came back and gave me some very good criticism, but also some advice on what to do next. And I followed that advice. And it went from a really big game, which I have all the cards and I can't remember. I lost my rules. I so want to reconstruct it to some degree. But my point being is every game I've designed almost looks nothing like the original prototype. Very, very, very few
Yeah.
games, because I try to over engineer and then trim, because try things, it doesn't work. Try it a different way, it doesn't work. Okay, time to get rid of it, right? And when I'm looking at your game, and if I was to say there's 100% of the mechanics, what am I talking about that my criticism is just on one very specific aspect that it's just a matter of you, if you were to do it, to tweak the numbers on the table. That's a relatively minor change in the grand scheme of things. Now, obviously,
Right.
small changes can make a big difference in gameplay. But outside of that, that's why I'm saying for your first design to fit within a postcard, to have all of this, to make it feel like a sub game, and it does. It feels like I'm in a sub and I'm trying to chase this convoy down and shoot them and not trigger the escorts. It definitely gives me that vibe. And not finding them, to your point, might be historically accurate. This might be something where you only had a 1 in 200 chance, or whatever the numbers are,
Right.
to
Right.
find them. So it might be historically
Yeah.
right on the
Well,
mark. That
and
I
also,
don't know.
the point was to make it so, look at what it took us to get 16 tons, right? It took quite a bit of play, and what I didn't want was this game to be so arcadey that you find a convoy, you shoot them, you get 20 tons every single time you find them,
Mhm.
because that wasn't historically accurate,
Right.
So, the way we're going here, we have we spent 4 torpedoes, right? So we had another 10,
No, I shot a total of 8 torpedoes.
4 torpedoes and 2 deck gun boxes.
Oh, that's right. The others are
That's
deck
what we
guns.
have.
Sorry. That's
Yeah.
right.
No,
That's
no, it's all good. Yeah. So, by the end of all this, we might have had 35, 40 tons, and we would have spent all the torpedoes and all the deck guns.
Yeah. So how does the game end? So you were
So
saying
yeah,
that
you.
how do you keep track of time? I mean, I go out to sea. Do I just keep going until I run out of bullets? Or
Exactly. You can keep going for as long as you want. Like, if you look
okay.
on the rules there's a blue box saying end of patrol phase, right? So right here. So what you do to end the game is at any point you can roll on the events one more time, see what comes up, and then you have ended your patrol. Then
Okay.
you see I have a single patrol for 30 plus tons. It's a successful patrol, right? If you're doing just a single one. If you're doing a campaign mode, you would have to kind of keep track of how many sightings you've had, because you need to have 30 tons per month that you've been on patrol.
Okay.
That's the stipulation I put there. Um, you know, and then you roll um, between patrols, snap, right?
So
The
what's the
refit,
running silent? Because I don't remember that coming up.
because so the running silent is when the escort is attacking you with depth charges. So if you are, let's
Ah,
say,
okay.
let's say at 30 meters right here, right? He'll attack you with depth charges. You can go silent. So not with depth charges, when he's searching for you, I'm sorry. When he's searching for you, if you are submerged and you've gone silent, he can only
Hmm.
find you on sixes.
Okay.
That's, yeah, we didn't get to that, so
And do
ended
you
up
have to be
not
at a certain depth to
explaining.
run silent?
No, just
Okay.
submerged. Yep,
Okay.
just submerged. So he can only find you with sonar on sixes when you're silent running. But
Okay.
you can't do anything else though. That's all you can do is silent run.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. You can attack, can move, can't do anything. Against
Okay.
their squad, you wouldn't do any of those things anyways because
You'll be holding your
you
breath.
would just pray for dear life. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then
That's why
the
you're
only
running
other thing
silent, man.
I know
Running
the
for your
other
life.
thing the only other thing that we did not also get to was if at later depths, let's say he's already attacking us, like on attack here with depth charges, the
Uh-huh.
lower you get, the deeper you get, he gets a +1 modifier to his attack roll. So if he
Oh,
hits on 4 and 5s, he will only hit you at 120 meters here at 5s. If you go to 150-meter depth, he can only hit you on 6s, so on and so forth. 6 is the,
okay.
because you're going deeper and deeper, it's harder for him to hit you, but it's
Right.
getting more dangerous for you as you go deeper, obviously, for implosions and stuff
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
that to me makes sense. Again, not
Yeah.
knowing how it was historically,
Hmm.
and maybe it's the Hollywood version,
Yep.
which I'm totally fine with. That totally makes sense
Yeah.
because it's a guessing game, right? I mean,
Yeah.
those depth charges are set on a timer, I believe,
Yeah.
and they're
They
trying to
were.
guess
Yep.
at what depth you are. I mean, if you're not as deep and they think you're deeper, those depth charges are going to drop right by you down deeper before
Right.
they explode,
Yeah. I think
which
they
could be
had
an
a radius
interesting
of 50
game.
feet, Mike. I believe depth charges. I think they had a radius of 50 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're
That's,
talking 30 meters, so
yep.
that's
90 feet,
150 feet, right?
90 feet.
90 feet. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So right here at
Oh yeah, 3x,
150,
3x, not 5x.
yeah, at 150, it's getting dangerous. When you really reach 900 feet and below, that's when things can get
Oh, dude, you
dicey.
implode. Yeah.
Yeah, 900 feet and below, that's dicey.
And
Very,
so
very dangerous.
you can get damage to the point that you start slipping down that depth and you have
Yep.
to repair. Otherwise, you're just
Right.
going to sink to the bottom and pop.
Exactly. So you would have, so if you're sinking because you have so much damage done to you and you
Mhm.
have not been able to repair at all, right? You gotta, yeah. So
Yeah.
like something like that, and you're sinking, you roll that number that's right next to the box right
That's
here,
not good. Of course,
and
I'm going to roll that. You know
if
that.
you, yeah, and this, the floating boxes add to that number, so you add one per floating box, so you're pretty screwed. That's why you don't want to go
For
down
you,
too
Chris,
far.
if you watch this later, really good IPA, my friend. Really good IPA.
Nice. Now, but that's it. That's the only
He
thing that
likes
did
pine
not
cone
happen.
juice.
So didn't explain because it didn't happen yet. So so that was it.
I'm with you, Mike. I've been wanting to watch Das Boot.
Oh yeah, it's been a
One
while.
of my we were talking about it earlier. It's in my top 10. Good, Bad, the Ugly. There's a number of Seven Samurai. Arguably top 5 for me. Seven Samurai, and we'll have to do a night where we just talk about movies and influence. And at some point, I want to do a samurai-based game, but
Nice.
I have so many, again, shiny objects. I've been thinking about, and I'll find the Vassal module for the Chase of the Bismarck, Eric.
Oh yeah.
And I know this is playtesting, but maybe we can do a live feed of us playing at some point, or we can play without it. It doesn't need to be on the channel.
Yeah.
But
Just let me know.
I would love to be able to do one where we can put it on the channel once we kind of know how to play, so we're not wasting people's time, and we can play some. Because that's such a cool looking game. Oh, I already showed that one. Sorry, Mike. Alrighty.
Yeah. No, that's it.
Any other thoughts?
No, because my mind is no longer in the 1930s.
Okay, so while I have you here,
Mm-hmm.
and by the way, if anybody is interested in playing this game, in the description, I put a link to. Let me double check it. I will put a link to both the entry in the postcards from the front if you want to pull down a physical copy, and also there'll be a link for the tabletop simulator version, which I think I've already put in the description, but I will make sure that both of them are in there. So if anybody here wants to go give one of these a shot, because this is a solo game, yeah, I have the Steam for Tabletop Simulator. So if you have Tabletop Simulator, follow that link. It'll take you to Steam, and where you can subscribe to the game. And then when you load Tabletop Simulator, it'll show up as an option for you to go in and play. And because this is a solo game, you can then go in and play this game all by your lonesome.
Yeah.
Or, with a friend, maybe. But again, it's a solo game, so I don't know what they would do.
But you could play with a friend, Mike, because we could play this co-op as well. We could be running a wolf pack. You do your thing on your board, I do on mine. We calculate the total.
You know what? I'm not going to tell you what to design, but I would love to see the next iteration of this game outside of the constraints of a postcard to see what you come up with. Because some of the things I wouldn't mind seeing are things like aircraft.
Yep. There's an event for aircraft down there, but that's all I could do. Yeah.
Oh, no, then you got it. You got it.
Yeah, because
don't need to
event
have a
12
lot.
right there. Oh.
And what does it do?
The wrong thing. So it's an aircraft attack, event 12. You roll a die, and then if it's 1 through 5, you get 2 damages on your boat.
Why don't we spend a minute or two and let's go through this event table, because I didn't realize that was there, and here I am saying it'd be cool if it had airplanes, and it does.
Okay.
So
that's okay. So events 2 to 3 we have no sighting. 4 we have a sunk ship.
Now we're rolling 2 dice. Yes.
Yep, we would be rolling 2 dice on the event table here. So if you roll the 4, it would be a sunk ship, span 1 torpedo, and roll tonnage. That means
so you automatically get a kill.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So you found a straggler, you shot him down, you just mark 1 torpedo.
Oh, okay.
Off. Yep. On 5 here we have a sighting, and we know what a sighting is. 6 we have clever engineering, -1 damage. So that's another way of repairing your boat, doing events. Number 7 is the escort, which we've actually done already.
Right.
8 and 9 you have another sighting. 10 we have mechanical issues. Unfortunately, you lose 1 box worth of damage. 11 we have 1 officer crew injury. So you just roll the die here and
to see 1 through 6 to see who gets hit. In this case,
so number 4 will be crew. So you would just mark that. Boom.
Okay.
All right. Number 12 is aircraft attack. You roll a die. 1 through 5 is 2 damage. 6, you both sunk. So that's the extent of the aircraft on this game, Mike.
No, hey, a 6 is brutal. You saw what I got in 5 dice rolls. I rolled 4 6s. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I don't
know.
want to have to
I don't
face
know how
it.
you're doing that. I
I
like
was
that
just,
skill.
I was rolling. I was selecting the
I
dice. Just
know.
hit R.
I know.
1, 4. Now it looks normal.
Yeah.
6. There we go.
6. There you go.
3. No. See now, but I rolled 6, 6, 6, 5, 6. It's like it's all on video.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I know.
Thank goodness the aircraft weren't attacking me then.
I know. So,
Okay.
Mike, just to close this out, whatever, if you want to keep going with this one, not. I think I will change these numbers, Mike. The close range, the medium, and the long. I've played this game a ton. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I've had some people do talk about this quite a bit. The ranges. I apologize.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to my throat. Just lost my voice.
That's okay, I hear you.
So this game might look a little different by the time people wanna download.
Well,
I'm gonna,
like I said, I'm gonna be pulling these things down to put into to get printed. So if you want to make those changes before I do that, just let me know. And again, it's so when you play test your own game, you have an idea of how you want your game to work. And these numbers may have been perfect for what your idea was.
And then that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so it's like it's working exactly how I designed it to work. And there's obviously nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And then you put it out there and people start playing it. And then you realize, well, maybe what I think the game should be is not what other people are expecting or wanting the game to be.
Exactly.
And you start to make a compromise. Unless you're like, no, this is historically accurate. I want this to be historically accurate. So what? You didn't see anything. It doesn't end the month. Just roll again. Because eventually you're going to get one.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And that's exactly my train of thought, Mike. And also, like I mentioned before, I do like games that are harder, and I have to crap.
I'm gonna hit you with that stick. I'm gonna hit you with that stick. Hard it is nothing to do with improbable. This game is improbable. It's not hard.
Yeah.
I just keep rolling. Eventually it'll happen. There's no effort other than me rolling the dice. So this is not hard by making it more unlikely.
Yeah.
Sorry to be a dick about it, but I feel very strongly on this point.
Okay. But that's why I also put in a couple of little goodies on the events table too. Like
once I saw that, and I'm like, oh, okay,
ship.
You roll a 4, you get a ship.
Yeah. And then also clever engineering because you get to heal. So there are a couple of goodies
to me,
there.
that's
just kind of making up for it.
I'm gonna say that's luck.
Mm-hmm.
This part of the game, this is where the skill is. This is where the player agency is.
Right.
And I think, in my opinion, focusing whatever changes you make here to make this whatever your vision is, and like I said, everybody else, including myself, can go pound sand. Because I'm going to repeat myself. Everything else I think is fine. Right? I love the fact that you don't repair. You can just sink to the bottom and implode. That's kind of cool. I like how the escort is like, it takes some time so you can react to it. You can submerge. You can get to a depth before they show up.
Right.
Or in the one example, you got caught on the surface. That's going to happen.
Right.
You got your crew. Your first officer, you've got a little bit RPG. Again, you packed a lot into this game. And so my only criticism is maybe the movement doesn't always have to be away, but that's nothing I'm not going to fight on that hill, right?
Yeah.
That's a non-issue for me. The only thing was just here, if I was playing your game, I'm going to modify it for house rules to make it easier to get in, and because long range doesn't have. I mean, if they're in long range, it's like that's almost a no sighting, and it's hard enough to get a sighting to
Right.
have it, even though that the chances of getting that are really small.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I made it that one small, because it's like a long range. I mean, you wouldn't be able to do, close in.
But here's the thing:
You know,
if
it would
they're
be
at
just in
long
the
range
distance.
and you're sitting here,
Right.
you can't catch them the way the
No, you
game's
can't.
designed right now. And so
Yep.
why
You would
even
just
go
disengage.
through the why even take the time to go through that?
Yeah, you wouldn't. You would just
And
disengage.
if there's a spotting, there should be some chance, because here's the thing. You've got the odds of me spotting something at 30%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, however slight it is, it's almost like that doesn't matter. It should be, in my opinion, if I spot something, that there's going to be some resolution for me to have at least a chance to get some shots off.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you have long range takes that away from me when it's already lucky whether I even get to this point or not.
Yeah.
So the chances are actually less than 30%. It's not that much less, 1 or 2%. So instead of 33, maybe it's a natural 30 because of this long range thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a drafter, we would work on a drawing. So an engineer might give us a drawing with a bunch of markups. We'd go through, we'd draw it, and then it would go to a checker. And the checker would go through and look at both the original drawing that we were given to put onto the drawing as the drafter and make sure that we had everything. And then they would also check I'm going somewhere with this story, trust me. They'd also check to make sure that the changes that were made were appropriate. So to be a checker, you had to be both top-level drafter and top-level designer. And they would use a red pencil and mark on your drawings. And when I was a drafter, if I got a drawing back that had a lot of red on it, we would say, oh my God, that checker just bled all over my drawing. So if I was going through your game, there'd be a little blood on your game. That's all I'm saying. But it's all good, my friend. It's all good, boss.
Believe it.
Cool.
All right.
Well, let me just check chat real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike had a question, missed earlier. Do you roll 3d6 for range with no mods?
So yeah, no mods. You just roll.
But do you roll 3d6?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, for the placement of the ships, right?
Yes. He also says, I like that there is a chance for a positive event. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It's not all bad.
Tolomicus says, nice game. Grats. Thank you, Tolomicus.
Thanks, Tolomicus.
Yeah. And then Mike says, so close range would only be 4.5% likely,
right?
Which does seem low, especially at night. Yeah. Now, daytime, totally think that getting a 4.5. That's why I was suggesting 2 different columns, because nighttime you would think you could get closer. And thank you for the math on that, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike. The thing is, because by design, I did want them to usually be found around medium range. So you would have to move. You would have, if you wanted to take if it was day good, for example, and you could take a longer shot at them, it wouldn't be so simple to take that shot off right from the approach.
Not to be a
that was
horse.
the reason for that, the reasoning for that.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think that makes complete sense. Especially in the daytime, you're going to find them at medium range.
Exactly.
But because I can only shoot here and they can move away, I think that's what's broken. And that's a harsh word, and I don't mean it as harshly as it sounds.
No. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but because this, based on what you said, this is what you're going to get most of the time, right?
Right.
That's what you want.
Right.
That's what you're going to get. Perfect.
Hmm.
But I move 2, they move 1, I move in, they move out. I still can't catch them even at your optimal range at nighttime.
At nighttime. Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
Cool.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm done with saying that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Alrighty. So we're at an hour 45. I think we've done a pretty good job on the play testing. Is there anything else that you might want to say or add about the game at this point?
No, not much more than what we already talked about.
Okay.
I might make changes here or there. I may not. I don't know because again, I'm not so sure it's still a design I'm interested in anymore.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because unless because again, Mike, I made this game for this particular jam, right? If I
Yep.
was to make it for the one that we have right now, which is the 11 by 17 card driven game, it
Uh-huh.
would be an entirely different game. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not so sure that.
But here I'm going to say I think this is a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, could be.
I think with some polishing, and again without the constraints, even with the postcard, I think with some polishing you could get this.
Mhm.
I hate to
Yeah,
say better because that implies that
that's
it's not
okay.
good. I think it's
Everything
a
needs
good game.
improvement,
An
always.
improvement. There
That's
we go.
yeah,
Most
for
games do.
sure.
Like I said, almost every single one of my designs does not look like what it originally looked like. In
Yeah.
Mythic, when you lost minions, they died, and you had a body count, and you lost victory points on your body count. So you did not want to have them. So I nerfed the lethalness of that game
Hmm.
because I enjoyed it, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, I keep dying, and I got a body count of 14 minions." I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's what
Happens.
happens when you push your luck." But I had enough
Yep.
people say that that was not an enjoyable experience, so I changed the design
Hmm.
to that point. But to
Yeah.
your point, was built for this game jam.
Yep.
We're going to get them published. If you're going to make any changes, whatever, let me know, and I'll make sure I'll get those changes when I submit
Hmm.
everything um,
Cool.
to the Dietz Foundation.
What's the deadline to submit to them, or for
in
us
the
to
next in
change?
the in the next week because I'm going to
Oh,
take
okay.
about because what I have to do is pull down all the artwork.
Yep.
I'm going to do a cursory check just for spelling and a few minor things.
Uh huh.
And then I need to compile everything into a PDF, create a cover,
Uh huh.
uh, maybe a title
Oh, okay.
page. So I have to
Uh huh.
basically get it ready to then send the file over to the
Yep.
Dietz Foundation, and they're going to approve it, and then
Yep.
use that to go out and get quotes from a printer. And so there's going to be a process.
Gotcha.
Probably realistically, it's going to take me 2 to 4 weeks to do.
Hmm.
And I'll let you know when I'm getting ready to say done and dusted.
Oh,
But you've
okay.
got at
Yeah.
least a week, if not maybe 2 weeks.
Oh, no, no, no. My changes would be tomorrow.
Perfect.
I don't need that much time.
No, well, just so anybody else that's listening that has a
Oh,
game
yeah.
that wants to make changes, this is where we are with everything. And I
Hmm.
am purposely moving at a slow pace with this
Hmm.
um, because I think it's a fabulous opportunity that the Dietz Foundation has given us. And if it
Yeah.
goes well, both myself and them would like to continue this at least for the December postcard, Christmas card format to publish it on an annual basis. Again, can't promise that. But if things go well and they sell a few copies and it hits their goals, then we'll definitely do that with the next Christmas cards, postcards from the Front Jam. Now, the card one, there's no plans to publish anything from the jam specifically. Now, that doesn't mean that when games are submitted, and by the way, I saw we now have 14 entrants 2 more people signed up in the last day or so. So thank you for that.
Nice.
Hey, 14 is again, I'm just blown away by,
That's cool.
that there's a need, or there's not a need, but people are really taking the opportunity that we're creating for them and saying, hey, I want to give this a shot. I want to try to design one of these games. And I'm thinking that this is, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is beyond my wildest expectations. And I'm so glad that it's got such a positive response. And hopefully with the Playtesters podcast, we'll be able to do a deeper dive than what we do on the postcards from the front, where it's more theory crafting and talking. And even though we will talk about the individual games and get the designers on, this is where we can do a deep dive like this and have the conversation of, hey, maybe that needs to be changed, or, oh, that's a pretty cool mechanic, and play through it like we have with the last few games. I love doing this stuff, and I think this is a really good format for us to do it. And Eric, thank you, one, for helping with everything you do on both the podcasts, and
My pleasure.
it's priceless. And the fact that we still got your sniper game to bleed on a little bit, literally.
Oh, let's bleed. Let's bleed.
Now, so just a little scheduling update. So Chris is going to his J3, I think it's called, convention that his brother puts on this weekend. So he's probably traveling. Again, travel safe, my friend. We'll definitely talk next week. Now, next week, early tomorrow morning, I'm going to be getting up and driving from San Diego up to Patterson. If you know the Bay Area, it's not quite in the Bay Area. It's just a little east of Livermore. I'm going to be going to the office, which is in Walnut Creek, pretty much all 5 days next week, and potentially driving back home Saturday. So I plan on being live 6 o'clock on Thursday night. If something changes, I will let you guys know. But for now, just anticipate that we'll have a show that night. I'm not going to book any guests on the off chance that I can't make it. Chris should be back. Eric will be there. And like I said, I should be there. The following week, things should clear up a little bit. And then Eric and I are going to come up with a plan and work with Chris and find out who we want to invite and get on the show. There's a number of people that have shown some interest, and still kind of getting used to scheduling, because typically I don't schedule things more than a couple of weeks out just because my schedule is so hectic. So we'll start that not next week, but the following week. We should start seeing more guests on the postcards from the front. And then obviously with the playtesters, I'm going to, in last night's podcast, Mike Botticelli, hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly, was in chat, and he's getting his Wolfpack game, keeping it with the sub theme, is going to be published here soon, and he offered to come on the channel and play the game. So I'm going to reach out to him and try to schedule something to do it as the Playtesters podcast, whether it's on Vassal or on Tabletop Simulator. And I think he said it could be either. And then get a couple of us to go play and get him to run a game for us on one of the episodes of the Playtesters. So that would be very cool. Awesome. So hopefully that'll happen within the next 3 or 4 weeks. Again, next week is going to be packed. I'm not going to try to book anybody for anything. But after that, hopefully I'll start getting a little more active and getting some people on here. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this episode. Thanks, everybody in chat. I appreciate you guys taking time to show up to do what we do. Eric, I appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Love having you part of everything we're doing here. It's just been awesome. And we'll talk about getting your sniper game. Maybe we do that next week, since it's going to be kind of a crunch kind of thing, right?
Sounds
so
good.
With that, guys, we're out. See you next week.